turns that everyone experiences in their life, and it's hard to have all the answers. That's why you should turn to a life coach, a dedicated specialist that can help you think through tough decisions and offer sound guidance to making a fulfilling decision about any hurdle that you're facing. We urge you to contact our office today to start the conversation. We're here and ready to help shed light on what direction will make the most positive impact in your life. Call us today. We're ready to listen.
Yes, sir. Yes. So, if any PPT you can share, sir. I have given you
No, ma'am. I'll share my desktop.
Yes,
Yes.
Do you ever feel like you've lost a sense of purpose or direction in any aspect of your life? Maybe you wonder, what next step should I make in my career or my personal life? It's very natural to feel a bit lost from time to time with the unforeseen and unknown twists and turns that everyone experiences.
I welcome all the participants for the webinar session on the topic University Curriculum Design Industry Perspective. We have a lot of knowledge sharing so far through the eminent speakers on University Curriculum Design Industry Perspective. Now I take this opportunity to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Mani Madhukar, University Relations from IBM. Dr. Mani Madhukar sir has did his bachelor's degree from Hemvati Nandan Bohugan Garhwal University and master's degree from Graphicera University and PhD from Banasthali Vidyapith University. Sir has overall 15 years experience as an analyst, professor assistant, and program manager. Currently, sir is working as program manager, University Relations, IBM, India. Sir has worked with so many startups, ISVs, incubators, and academic institutions towards adoption of cloud. Now, I request Dr. Mani Madhukar sir from IBM to address on this mentioned subject.
And we are very grateful to you, sir, for your valuable time.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am, and good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure joining you this afternoon. So I'm going to share a few slides of mine, and then maybe we can have a conversation. I hope my deck is visible to you.
Yes, sir, it is visible. So, can you make it full screen, sir?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay. So let me, get it started, right? And let's try and understand why is it important to have this conversation, first of all, right? Now, I have worked with lot of universities, a lot of institutions, either on board of studies or, board of governors. And I really feel there has been, a great emphasis in last few years, which I feel that people have started to realize that it is so much important to have a curriculum which is contemporary. Okay. Now, this is really a good sign, right? Because having worked with academic institutions for last, more than 15, 16 years, I've seen that, there has been a bit of gap when it comes towards uh, adoption of new areas, new technologies in academia, right?
This conference will now be recorded.
And, this is actually the ask of the day, wherein, the students are being taught the latest which is available in the market, because we all know, right, technology is evolving very fast. Every next day we have something which has come up in the market, and which a student has to be is supposed to be knowing. The overall training times when they join the corporates have been really, shrinking. A couple of years back, when maybe, you and me were joining the corporate, it was around 5-6 months that were dedicated to, training, which is not the case now, right? A student is expected to be hands-on as they join. So even today, when we look forward for skills or for people to hire, we try and prefer a person who is hands-on with the technology, right? So it's no longer, right, your resume says it all, right? Not just your resume, we also look forward to proven hands-on expertise, right? And hence the need of curriculum, adoption more dynamically has become an ask, particularly from our universities or academic institutions point of view. It's so much relevant today, right? Having said that, this is also important, right, that we need to understand what should we adopt in curriculum, where should we start, what is that should get into the curriculum, right? Now, as you all are aware, these are all disruptive times. When I say disruptive times means, if you see 5 years back down the lane, the technological scenario or the business scenario was entirely different than what it is today. So what you are teaching to the student has to have a relevance in today's time, right? It cannot be something which is in isolation, right? So we have institutions, across India, I would not say which is still practice a syllabus which is almost like 20 years dated, right? So 20 years back when I read something, the same book is still very much in the syllabus there, and it has no bearing whatsoever in current context, by the way, right? So it's really important to understand that we keep updating our syllabus in a manner which remains fruitful, which gives a hands-on component to the child, so that whenever he is actually going out, he is going to look for a job that can really help him, right? Can I request either to mute their microphones, or maybe can I request the moderator to mute the microphones? Okay, so thank you. So what has happened is, let's try and understand, right? Why are these? What are the basic reasons? These organizations have really been a disruptor, right? So a few years back, there was no Ola, Uber, right? There were no Alibaba, there was no Airbnb. Even Facebook wasn't the way it is now, right? So what has really fueled the growth of these organizations? It's basically the technology, right? We all understand this. Even in this harsh scenario today, like today, right, where we are locked down in our respective places. If we look around, around us, we will really be able to find that so much of technology has enabled everything, right? So had the technology not been there, the life would have been even more difficult for us, right? Think of times where there was no technology, right? We might have been there when there were curfews, when there were lockdowns, and how it was back then. Right? And it's really important to that we keep adopting to new technologies. Okay. Now, if you see from a technology landscape, these are a few technical areas, technology areas which have really spurred this digital transformation, right? And if you see this stack, you will find all the latest technologies there. I would not say they are latest now because they are all mainstream, right? You talk about cloud, you talk about blockchain, you talk about augmented reality, you talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning. You talk about mobility, you talk about big data analytics. So they're all mainstream technologies now, right? So it's really important that we understand, right, that these all technologies should be made a part of curriculum in some or the other way, right? And because we need to keep the curriculum updated, right? So let's try and understand how we can do it. So at IBM, we are looking to, we are really interested in building the workforce for the future. And IBM is mostly like, it was one of the organizations which caters to enterprise customers. So we have experience of 100 plus years of working with, almost all the big enterprises across the globe, which really comes in handy when we design new products, when we come up with new offerings, right? And so whatever IBM technologies you see out there in the market, those are not just for a B2C consumer, right? It's mostly like a B2B consumption model. So the point is, the people that you are going to train, with IBM technologies or maybe with open source, they will find their consumption, or they'll find the adopters mostly in other organizations, not just IBM, right? So when you actually are training something or somebody with IBM's skills, so you're training for a broader set of audience, right? So it can be the top 49 banks, global banks, if you talk about. It can be top 10 integrators, if you talk about. So all of them will have IBM technology in one or the way, being used in some way. So the skill set, the competencies, which are being created using these technologies, using these skills, will be consumed not just within IBM, but then broadly outside of IBM, right? Because there's so many organizations which actually work on these technologies, whatever we're going to talk about, right? The learning, what we have seen, should focus around, three brackets, three basic buckets. One is the theoretical concepts, which is very important, right? Because unless you understand what is the content, what is the topic about, you will not be able to make anything out of it, right? So there has to be good amount of focus. We say almost like 40% should focus on the concepts part, which includes doing, taking theoretical lectures, or maybe, driving it through some PPTs or some videos or whatever way, right? In case it's not face to face, as in the times of COVID-19, it can be remotely done, right? But then 40% of the overall effort should really be concentrated towards, getting the theoretical content, theoretical knowledge. Then there should be a very strong focus on hands-on, right? Almost like 25 to 30% of the effort should be put on getting the hands-on experience, because technology does not make sense unless you practice it. You cannot learn a technology unless you practice it, right? And hence, there has to be a good amount of hands-on labs which have to be embedded into the learning. Now, you see, when a student has a campus available, it's really cool that he walks into one of these labs and you've got systems available in the lab, you've got software available in the lab, you've got some hardware available in the lab, so he can do a hands-on. Very cool, very good. But in cases like today that we are having, COVID-19, where everybody is stuck back at home, nobody can come to the campuses, then how do you actually conduct this, right? So that's where IBM Skills Academy or IBM courses really come in handy, which can really help in complementing that theoretical learning with some hands-on. So what we offer is all these learning exercises, all these lab exercises on IBM Cloud, right? So be it related to AI, be it related to DevOps, be it blockchain, be it IoT, be it, of course, cloud is there in all possible ways, be it mobile applications, be it big data analytics, whatever you can talk about, whatever you can think of, right? all of those services are basically available as cloud offerings, right? So ideally, all these lab exercises, these hands-on components should be taught on some cloud, wherein you have those services, the instances spin up, and the students are working on those, right? That way, wherever they stay, right, at campuses, at homes, or across the globe, wherever, they can actually do their lab work. They can, work on their hands-on exercises. They can even go through the concepts. That's really important, right? So lab exercises have to be shaped up in a way wherein students can get a 24/7 access to them. It's not just when they're at the campus, but then even when they're out of the campus, because learning has to be made flexible. I'm sure we have got so many academicians here today on this call, and they would all appreciate that with COVID-19, it has really taught us a lot of new things, right? We have to design our learning systems in a way that can cater to students at all points in time, right? It's not that he has to come to campus and then only he gets access to those hands-on software or labs or exercises. You have to shape it in such a way, you have to make it in such a way that is accessible to him from whatever location he is, so that you give him a lot more flexibility to learn at his own pace, learn more flexibility in learning, right? So if he is free in the evening, or maybe he is having a intent to learn in the evening when it's not college hours, maybe he can go up and log into the cloud account, and maybe he can do the lab exercises, right? So we can actually have all those sorts of things, right? And so we can have all those sorts of things, things in our curriculum when we talk about. This is it's an interesting stat, right? By 2022, we are really looking to have a big churn, right, in terms of upskilling, reskilling, and this is really important, right? Not just from an academia standpoint, but also from a corporate standpoint. We see a lot of skilling, reskilling initiatives happening across in different organizations as well, right? Because unless you keep on learning, it will not be possible, for you to sustain. And it is really, really important to upskill. Now, most of you will really appreciate the fact when you and me were studying, we never had all these technologies, right? Quantum would have just been there as a theoretical concept. Today we have got quantum computers which we can work on, right? There was unstructured data, but then we never realized that it can be of any use back then, right? Today we basically talk about NoSQL, and we talk about how important is unstructured data in order to get your analytics, in order to get your insights, in order to derive intelligence from whatever components that you have, right? So things were not there, so we have to prepare the generation for next 10 years when we are teaching them, and hence it is so much important that we train them as digital practitioners. We train them with a view that can really help them in in getting expertise to a certain level. Now, how do we actually build these digital practitioner, from IBM's point of view? So as I was telling you, there has to be a good mix of theoretical lab exercises, and of course some group exercises as well, where people come and work together. Now, whatever we create as content for academia, right, we really understand that we have to teach the student in a manner that he learns not just technology, but then also the role-playing thing, right? He also understands the use cases. For example, for any bright mind, right, and there are so many today, given in these conditions, given these constrained environment that we are living, locked down at our home, there will really be people who will be able to think that how they can leverage existing technologies in a way which can make lives easier for us. That's what is actually engineering, right? That's what is the technology put best use for, when you can really solve some real world, real time problem, right, with the knowledge that you have. So the idea is you just not tell him or teach him the technology, but then actually you make him a practitioner of the technology. So unless you make him a practitioner of the technology, he will not be able to realize the full potential of it, right? So all these learning that we actually create through courses like Skills Academy and others at IBM, we really have a good mix of use case based learning. We have a good mix of projects which he is supposed to be working. There is a complete 360-degree approach of not just technology, but then also its applications, and how also you can how you can think innovatively. So that's where the design thinking comes into play, right? You basically give him a complete life cycle of an application development, right? How do you conceive an idea? And now if you have the idea, how do you narrow down to that MVP, right? The minimum viable product. So that's what is really important, that you really identify and you actually could create a solution which can really help in, creating a solution. Okay, so now that we're talking about, right, how to build traditional practitioner, right? So uh, let me bring another aspect of learning to this now. So let's say I know about maybe blockchain or maybe a big data analytics. Now, how do I tell people that I know about it? And to what level do I know about it? How do I let people know about it, right? I cannot actually carry a placard, or cannot actually put it everywhere, right? So the most easiest way was, if you remember, we used to have these digital certifications, right? Maybe we go to some UE or a prometric center where we appear for an examination, and that examination has to, supposed to be, set up a benchmark of learning, right? So in earlier days, there was so much, people were interested in doing a Java certification, right? So they will go to a Red Hat certification and they will take this exam, which will really ensure that they have got certain level of, adaptive skills in that particular area, and employers will appreciate that. Similarly, today when we talk about this, right, we basically talk about something called as digital badges, folks, right? So the learning has to be compensated with some metric, with some measurement. Now, how do you measure that? You measure that in terms of some tangible outcomes, right? So one way can be, each learning can be followed up by some badges, like these practitioner badges. So when a student completes a certain X hours of learning in some area, he undertakes some exam. He basically does some project under that. And once he has completed those labs, he's completed those projects, he has done some design thinking modules even. So he basically is entitled to get some badges like this, right? So once you've done an AI course, you can have an AI badge, or you have done a blockchain course, you can get a blockchain badge, right? So that learning has to be coupled with some takeaway, right? It cannot be that you can only have a takeaway after 4 years that you carry a degree. No, you actually give him a takeaway maybe after 1 year, after every 1 year, so that that takeaway helps in him seeking internship. That takeaway helps me in participating in hackathons, which are really a cool platform to showcase your skills. They really even help build a brand for an institution, because when your child goes out and he does well in a hackathon, people look for which college is he coming from. Employers look for which college is he coming from, right? Where you get these sort of skills from a student. So that has to be a regular journey, right? It has to be a continuous journey, wherein you give him some tangible outcomes after every maybe 2 quarters, or maybe after 1 year, or maybe after one semester, or whatever, right? Which also will keep him motivated, right? So let's say I have got a 4-year course, right? And after doing the first year, I give him one batch maybe towards which is about foundation skills, right? Then I have, second, when he comes in second year, I again give him some more skills in that particular domain which is of interest, maybe AI, right? So we can say this is the level 1 skills that he has achieved, another batch for him. And then when he is in maybe third year, you basically give him a practitioner batch, right? So by the time when he goes for a for a campus interviews, or when he's going outside of the campus for some hackathon and all, he actually can boast of that back knowledge, that hands-on knowledge which he'll carry along, which will really be a very big confidence booster for the child, I'll tell you. And this is really important from today's point of view, because industries are looking for skill set in a couple of these areas. As I was telling you earlier, these are some 7-8 areas where people are looking for skills, deep skills. And in case you have one, you are like a hot cake, right? Everybody is looking after for you. People want you to join their company. People want you to join their organization, right? So this is what is really important, that you give them some tangible outcomes, tangible key takeaways after a year or a semester like that, which can really help them in getting more hands-on, getting them more exposure to technology, giving them more hands-on approach with the use case environment. They know where they can apply these solutions, right? So as we talk today, I see so many students who are connected, who are trying to implement technology with day-to-day things. So people are facing a challenge in vegetables, getting vegetables, fresh vegetables. People have started a supply chain on blockchain, right, where they have put every information right from where it is being sourced, what time was it taken up, how much time it's taken into transportation, like that, right? So the point is to ensure that the product that you are getting as a consumer is actually a fresh consumable product, right? So, and technology can have so many utilizations along with that, right? AI can be put to use in so many fantastic ways as we talk about. So this is one, platform where you can go ahead and you can leverage this. We are also running right now this code challenge, which people, in case you want, they can come ahead and they can still learn. We are providing them a boot camp to learn as well. So I'll take a pause here, and if there is any other question, I would actually like to entertain those questions.
I request participants to unmute yourself and ask questions to sir.
Vachinda, option? Yes. Sir, good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Murli Krishna, sir. Now, what is actually the impact of this COVID-19 before and after, sir, particularly in this industry perspective point of view, sir?
Good afternoon, sir. And very relevant question, sir, because I'm sure you and me will realize that life has changed drastically. It was never ever for us like this. All these years that we have been brought up the way we have been brought up and the way we see businesses growing up. Now, since we cannot move out, people are finding ways how to do remotely, right? So, for example, we had a few freshers to be onboarded, right? Now, this is the first time in the history of IBM that we onboarded them remotely, right? That was never the case. So all these fresh candidates which had job offers from IBM got onboarded remotely, virtually for that matter. Similarly, all the tasks, almost like 95% of whatever we are doing as a business is being done, in digital online mode, remote mode, right? Because people are not going to their offices anymore, right? Similarly, the internships which people were working on, which was supposed to be reporting to their respective units, working with those projects, they're all happening remotely these days, right? Which is a good way, and which has some the flip side to it as well. But then yes, we should look at the brighter side of things, right? I'll give you one more example. Now I do a lot of these events in webinars and web sessions, and a lot of campus in-person sessions. Now when you actually go to a class and you talk to child in a person, out of a batch of 60, there are only few people who will actually come back with questions, maybe 5 people in a class of 60, right? Because most of the time they will feel shy to stand up and to talk and to maybe ask something. I find this really this barrier being broken by this online webinars, because now I find more people asking up their questions more freely, because they are not facing you directly, right? So that apprehension that they had, that inhibition that they had, they could overcome that. So yeah.
Sir, my observation, particularly on this, is there any change in this university curriculum design, particularly for the IT industry, with reference to this COVID-19, sir?
Definitely, sir. As I was saying earlier, also, see, whenever till so far, the provision was that the child comes to the labs in the classrooms and the labs, and they perform their practicals there. So you would have some licensed software, they would have some hardware there in the labs, in your labs, where the child will come and do a project. Now, what if in this scenario continues for next 6 months, right? What if in next 1 year there is something again which is similar to COVID-19 and which basically restricts all of us who are home? So we need to find a way so that a child can do a lab, a child can study from wherever he is, right? That's why I talked about doing all the lab exercises on cloud, right? So that's not just learning has become more modernized, more contemporary, more what industry needs, but then it's also available 24/7, right? So whenever he is comfortable, maybe day, maybe night, he can log into his account and he can do his lab exercises, he can do the programming, or he can do whatever is being asked of, right? So which is really new, right? Which is really something which has been very difficult, unless he was able to come to the campus, which is not the case now. So going further, you have to devise mechanism wherein you can give the teaching, you can make the teaching more flexible. more flexible so that he can learn 24/7.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your.
Thank you, sir.
We thank you very much, sir, for valuable input on various technical aspects to be shaped up to build new future, and also the importance of technology utilization during COVID-19. So, would you like to continue, sir?
No, in case there is no more question, then that's fine, ma'am. I would really appreciate if there is question. Otherwise, yeah, that's good. This is good.
I request any participant, if you have any question to ask to sir related any industry question, you are welcome. Please unmute yourself and ask questions.
I take a choice, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you have question,
Yeah.
please unmute yourself.
Yeah,
And,
please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one aspect what Dr. Madhukar was speaking, that's regarding digital badges. There I could get a small doubt. Would it be awarded by IBM or any other company of that kind? And what courses do really need to attend or to complete in order to be awarded digital badges? Would you please brief on these digital badges, please?
Sure, sir. So IBM, in association with Credly is a third party which basically provides these badges, right? So I'm sure most of us would have gone to Acclaim at some point in time. So these are all Acclaim badges. So point is, once these badges are issued by a third party, a child could have a reference point, right? So it's not that these are all so he can put those links on his resumes anywhere. Anyone can go and validate his credentials there. That let's say Mani Madhukar has obtained a practitioner badge on AI, right? So he can go and look for there. So this is really a good way of validating whatever is being, whatever I claim that I have expertise in this area. So these badges are basically provided through Credly and IBM, and to obtain these badges, there are some steps he has to complete that. He has to actually take an online examination, and he has to obtain 70% plus marks in that online examination. It's mostly MCQ based before he can actually claim a badge. So there is a proper structure in place for getting these badges, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I hope this answers your question.
How to approach this? I mean, had I been working for an organization, how would I make my student to approach towards this digital badge?
I would recommend, sir, if you can connect with me, maybe on LinkedIn, or you can drop me a mail. I'll be more than happy to come back on that, because this is more like an institution-led approach, sir, right? You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to answer all your queries there. There is a lot of content which I can share with you on this, how you can approach these.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for your answer. Definitely would be.
Are there any questions on chat, ma'am? If they're there, you can let me know.
No questions in chat, sir. So actually, we are asking participants to unmute themselves and ask questions during the session. So further, any questions from participants? Any questions? As Mani Madhukar sir is from University Relations at IBM, so I expect to ask quality questions.
Well, I can keep on presenting charts, right? But then I guess it will be good, in case you have a question and I could answer that. That will be really helpful to both of us. Okay, in case there are no more questions, I guess I can stop my screen share then.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable inputs on various technical aspects to be shaped to build new future, and also the importance of technology utilization during COVID-19, where stress for conducting online classes, online certification courses, and getting hands-on through cloud for various technologies, the emphasis on flexible learning by the student, which is very much required. We thank you very much, sir. Once again, we thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure.
Now I take the privilege to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Suresh Chandra Satpathy, Dean Research and Professor Computer Science in KIIT University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. He has around 25 years experience in teaching and 10 years in research. He did his PhD in computer science from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. He has overall 100 above publications in national and international journals and conferences. He was and he is program chair for 20 more international conferences around the world under Springer Publishing. He has professional affiliations with IEEE, CSI, ISCSIT, and he is Secretary Treasurer, IEEE CIS Society, Hyderabad section. I take privilege to request Dr. Suresh Chandra Satpathy Garu to take the session forward.
Thank you. Hello.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have given you organizer, so you can share your PPT, sir. So please unmute yourself and continue the session, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hope everybody is able to listen me loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Can
sir.
I get response from one or two member that they are able to listen me?
Sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. This is Dr. Naveen. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Dr. Naveen. Yeah. Good evening, Dr. V.S. Reddy, and good evening to everyone from MRSET and everybody from rest of the places. I'm thankful to Dr. B.S. Reddy and Dr. Naveen, Mallikarjun, and many other from the MRSET for giving me this opportunity. I'm really indebted to Sanjeeva Reddy and Dr. Murali Krishna Garu for having invited me to this virtual meet. Though people are talking about social distancing nowadays, but in fact we are socially connected here. Yeah, there is no distancing at all. This is called world is a family. This is called a distributed world. Doesn't matter you are from which latitude and longitude, but this internet has made us all in one platform, and we are all without seeing each other, looking at this virtual screen, this laptop or desktop or phone, and trying to get connected with each other for something beneficial for the institution, for the society at large. So once again, I thank the organizers, the host, for giving me this opportunity. And I would also like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt congratulations, best wishes to Sri Malareddy ji, as well as the entire management board of Malareddy Group. Special congratulations to V.S.K. Reddy and his team for the big achievement of having one new university in Hyderabad, Telangana campus. I'm sure the people around there, all the leaders would definitely join the dots and see that the university grows, glows in the coming days. This particular webinar related to the curriculum design and the industry perspective is definitely the starting point for developing one organization, one university new university, well taken. And I was told by Dr. Naveen and also Mallikarjun sir that there have been a lot of participants, and from the morning, excellent deliveries have been done. I'm sorry I couldn't attend from the morning due to my preoccupation with many other stops in the home, since we are also organizing number of meetings, number of classes, examination online now for my university, KIIT deemed to be university. I couldn't attend from morning 9 o'clock, but I'm happy that I'm into the virtual meeting room now, and I'm able to see all the names here, though I cannot see anybody here. Maybe this is all muted, the video. But then I would just have a couple of points here with regard to the online meeting. If the organizers are listening me, I would like to have it, because for any kind of delivery, response of the audiences are very important. Otherwise, you cannot really deliver your talk or your class. For any teacher, I guess every one of us here are teachers. They are dealing with day in and day out with student in the classroom. And if they do not see the response of the student, they really get demotivated to deliver the talk. So if this virtual platform can make some of their video on for the speaker, then at least if some of them can nod their head, then we get a kind of response that really we are reaching, and then the dialogue will be like a two-way communication. It appears to me like it's like one way. Probably you are able to see me, I can't able to see anyone. Then I'm just looking at the blank screen with a lot of names and trying to deliver whatever I intend to deliver. However, I would not try to change the system. I am part of the system. I like to go with the system, and until in future we really pick the system a little bit. So I hope I am audible to everybody. Before I start my content delivery, I'd like to make sure that I'm reaching each and everyone. I'm not making their day bore, because from the morning they might have been listening. So I would just like to have some quick response from you. Am I audible to all? Whether my voice is clear, whether my content is clear or not.
Everything is all right, sir.
Can someone?
Yeah,
everything all right?
Then all right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I would like to share the screen. I think there is a screen share option because I'm used to Zoom. I'm not used to this platform. I'll try to share the screen. Let me see. How do I share the screen? No, not this one. I'm sorry, not this one.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, you can share.
Yeah. How do I share? I'm just looking at the sharing the screen option.
All right, sir.
Did you get the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So you are able to now get the screen. And in my first screen, it's curriculum design guiding principle. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Make it full screen, sir.
Full screen, sir.
Okay, I'll make it full screen. I'm trying to make it full screen. Okay, just give me a bit time. Is this okay? No?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's fine.
Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Entire screen is coming to you, or there is any overlapping?
No.
No, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay, fine. So I have been asked to speak about curriculum design for the industry perspective. When I joined, I could I could see some of the slides from the last speaker. And in fact, I guess he must have touched all the important points from the industry point of view, because the gentleman was from the industry. And I could just see that there are some slides related to a number of technologies, to the computer science and all. So I'm sure you all have received the feedback or received the input. How do you tune your curriculum towards the industry? So in fact, this is not my domain, But since Sanjiva Reddy sir requested me, and my close friend Dr. VSK Reddy sir wanted that I should speak something, and I'm a part and parcel of MR set for long time, then I thought I'll put forward my views regarding the curriculum design, my own thinking, my own thoughts. So with that, I'm just going to give you some guiding principle. I'm not talking about what should be the content, what should be the mixture, what should be the percentage of the syllabus, this and that. Uh, from the point of view of a teacher, I just wanted to present it. I have been in this educational technology sector for last 32 years, and I'll just put forward my experiences in the classroom, my experiences in the board of studies, my experiences with my students for their career, for their future, what they really need, what is their lookout, what industry requires, where we are. From that point of view, I'm just putting some guiding principles on the curriculum design. Some of the slides are not my own. As I said, this is not mine. I don't own it. I have certainly searched from the Google and try to pull the slides from here and there and put it in a particular place. But the voice will be my own voice. There is no plagiarism on my voice. Thoughts will be my own. There is no plagiarism on my thoughts. Maybe the writings and all I have borrowed from here and there. So I contribute to their, I'm mobilized to their contribution. And Google is such a beautiful platform. If you don't get anywhere, go to Google. Certainly you will get it. So Google is the biggest warehouse of the information. I'm sure everybody knows what is the meaning of the Google. The Google is not a search engine. Many students, when I ask what is Google, some say, sir, it is a software. Some say, sir, it is a search engine. Some they have different answers. But I say Google is derived from a word called googly, and that is 2 to the power 100. The 2 to the power 100 is Google. It is such a powerful place where you can get anything and everything. So I'm fortunate enough, like anybody else, to get a lot of slides, but I try to put my own voice, my own word, my own thoughts to these guiding principles. The one of the biggest thing we
Soon we'll be getting him back. We want everyone to be online. I think there will be a technical issue. So we request everyone wait for a moment so that Dr. Satpathy sir will be coming back. We'll be sending the link and everything probably after this session, like all feedback link and everything. So we want everyone to be in the session, and by the meanwhile, we'll be working on that. Yeah, now we are scanned. Yeah.
is this okay now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's fine?
Yes, sir. Full screen, sir. Please
full screen?
make it as. Yes, sir. Please do that, sir.
Yeah.
Now it's fine, sir.
Okay. Is this fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So
yes.
Now, shall I continue?
Yes, sir. If it is the first slide,
okay.
You can continue, sir.
Yeah, this is my first slide. So I have just given my first slide and my introduction, and then I'm going to discuss some curriculum design guiding principles. And this is the slide I think everybody talking about for last decade or so. Since I have taken up the chalk piece in my hand, every time in any meeting, the principal, the director, the authority, the vice chancellor, the board of studies chairman and every professor, every industry personnel who visits our campus, they talk about the gap. You can see the gap. I don't know whether it is Dr. Mallikarjun or Dr. Naveen having the stretch hand, but there is a gap existing between the two sides. One side is your academia and other side is your industry. So the gap is really botheration for every one of us for so many years, even more than 2 decades. We are talking about one particular thing always, that after delivering or after preparing my student for 4 years, when they go to the industry and I get a feedback that the student is not ready. This is the feedback every industry they give us, that your student is not ready. And then they say they would like to put them into finishing school. Something called finishing school, they say we would like to put them. They say your student has gone through the program of 4 years, whether it is mechanical or electrical or electronics, it doesn't matter, but your student is not industry ready. I'm sure every one of you must have heard this particular statement many times from your recruiter. I'm 100% sure when they come for recruiting, after the recruitment is over, and then when you contact the recruiter, why so many less students been qualified or selected, then you get a common answer that there is a communication gap. The students are not communicable, their attitude to be developed, the fundamentals are not good, the coding skills are not fine. These are the common type of sentiments or common type of statements we all hear from our recruiter, from our industry partners. That really a bothering thing for we educationists. That is really a very troublesome statements for all of us when we sit down after the recruitment and try to dissect what went right and what went wrong. So, and then we realize from their statement that probably there is a gap. Why probably? Yes, there is a gap. The gap is, what is the gap? Is the gap related to the topic? Is the gap related to the content delivery? Is the gap related to the communication? Is the gap related to the practical aspect? What is this gap is about? So we first must analyze what is the gap, and this gap we have to bridge, and there may be number of ways to bridge the gap. There may be number of approaches to bridge the gap, and one of the approach is definitely can be to some extent amended is by curriculum design. We can start like charity begins at home, so we can start from the very basic curriculum design so that the gap is reduced. But definitely the gap will be existing. Now we are talking about the gap, we have been talking about the gap. I can assure you next 20 months after also, when you cross verify, you will find out that we are also talking about the gap. Why this gap? The gap is the pace at which the industry moves, the pace at which the educational technology industry moves. I will not be wrong if I call education as a technological educational technology now, because we are into almost technology. So the pace of these two are really changing. The industry is very fast. They adapt to new technologies, new development, innovations, inventions. And when we train the student, we mostly focus on the fundamentals and the basics, and we try to build a foundation, and on that foundation we try to make some verticals, and probably we are not able to reach that vertical. And that's the reason when our student is out after 4 years and still we find there is a gap. Now, how do you really bridge this gap? So one, as I said, which already the organizers have taken initiative called curriculum design. So definitely, if we can look at the curriculum, and we can definitely work on the curriculum and try to see that the gap is reduced. So presently, in the coming in this century and ahead, when we try to develop our curriculum, we must make our curriculum learner centric. So that's very, when I say learner centric, it is student centric. It should not be the teacher centric. It should not be the delivery centric. For last couple of years, people were talking about student centric. When I go to the class, I deliver what I know, but I must deliver what they want to know. This is called a buyer's market. Nowadays, never, this is a seller's market. I cannot sell whatever I am producing. I have to sell whatever the demand is there to buy. If I go to any shop, I ask for the product. If it is a mobile phone, I ask for, I need such kind of devices. And if it is there, I purchase. Otherwise, I don't. So if it is a buyer's market, if the customer, it is a customer oriented society now. We all look, the all product are developed based on the customer's requirement. When it is a customer oriented society, then why not we also develop the customer oriented curriculum? And who are the customer for us? Obviously our students, obviously our people. So our students are our customers, and the students are the learner. Of course, teacher is also learner, but students are also the first learner. Now the student also, we should design our syllabus or courses of study or curriculum. Curriculum is a big umbrella. There we have a course of study, and syllabus is a part of it. I'll cover it quickly, all these things. So learner centered curriculum design you need to focus on. So again, this is not my slide. I have borrowed from Google. You can also see this in the Google, and these are all learner. We have to look for the learner objective, the support, the curriculum architecture, the method, then who provides the model. All that we have to develop in the learner center. Now presently, when you look at the present scenario in the industry has moved from industry 3.0 to 4.0. I'm sure our industry speakers must have discussed more about it. They are a master of this. I'll just keep this slide for you, that this is called industry 4.0 framework. The industry 4.0 or 4.0 framework is digital revolution, the digital technology. Look at the present situation. When this pandemic happened and we were all locked down and shut down for so many days, still we are getting connected to each other through the digital technology, digital platform. Thanks to this digital technology, that even though there is a social distancing due to the pandemic, but we are maybe digitally, physically disconnected, but socially connected and digitally connected here. So that is your industry 4.0, or we call it a physical cyber technology or system or space. So location, Internet of Things, sensor, robotics, big data, 3D printing, augmented reality, cloud computing, everything together. If you look at, this is called industry 4.0. So our curriculum today, if we design, the curriculum must be based on industry 4.0 framework. We cannot go out of this, because as I said, it is a buyer's market. We need to plan our product. We need to prepare our product based on the demand of the industries. And demand of the industry is that when a child comes out from your school or from your university, from your college, doesn't matter he belongs to which branch, but he must be well acquainted with this framework or these technologies. Whether it is a mechanical, he must know how the smart sensor works, or if it is electrical, electronics, or even agriculture scientist and all, they must know what is sensors, what is IoT, right? All those are all very important aspects for designing our curriculum. So I would urge my colleagues who would like to reshape their curriculum for the next generation should not forget this industry 4.0. Moving ahead, for next few minutes, I'll be just going through these 6 points quickly. So, you know, these are all well-known points. I will not spend more time on this. Just I would put forward and give my own perspective. So, you know what is the curriculum? I'll tell you what are the type of curriculum we have. Then we go for the curricular determinant, what we have to find out, and what are the steps in the planning, and how do you involve the participants or the stakeholders. This is very important. Curriculum designs will not happen by 3 or 4 or 5 people or HOD or principal or few professors sitting in a closed chamber. In curriculum design, the stakeholder must be involved. I am thanking to the organizers when they called the industry perspective, when they said the 2 industry participants were there, and AICT FAST chairman was there, and DN Reddy, a renowned educationist, was there, and many other people were invited to discuss on this. Similarly, we have to also listen to the parents. We also have to listen to the students. What is their view? Our alumni, our society, the neighborhood. Then only we can design a good curriculum, the industry-ready curriculum, or the curriculum which really give back to the society. Now, when we get any kind of autonomy, when I said you are getting your university, so definitely you are getting your autonomy. When you are getting your autonomy, now what do you mean by autonomy? Autonomy means you can have your own innovations, you can have your own experimentations, you can expand, maximize your potentials based on your requirement and the limitations. You can improve your quality because you are autonomy, and you can take some courses which are having societal relevance. Your teachers can totally involve in the entire system. You can build the confidence between the student and the teachers. You can have the transparency in teaching and evaluation processes. You can also even increase the scope of the educational reform, and you can make your own pace for the implementation. If you are a starter, you can go slowly, and if you really go faster, then you can implement new technologies and all much faster way. Hope I am audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. In between, I'll just request to give response so that I know that I'm audible. So the autonomy means is not that syllabus formation alone. So many a times there is a myth. The myth is the university is autonomy in admitting the student. University is autonomy in charging the fees. University is autonomy in conducting their examination. University is autonomy in setting their question paper and all that. That, of course, we have the autonomy in that. But beyond that, what other autonomy we can really enjoy? We must focus these autonomies, the quality improvement autonomy. We can have the IQAC cell, internal quality assessment cell, and we can assess our syllabus, our course of study, our delivery system on a regular basis. And then we can have a plan how to further improve this. Even you can have some reformation in the educational system, and we can have the transparency in our evaluation system. I must tell you here, because when I'm talking about evaluation transparency, let me tell you, at KIT University, KIIT deemed to be university, we have really a very transparent evaluation system. You'll be surprised to know this. Let me tell you what is that we follow, because certain best practices can be borrowed and can be taken. It is not plagiarism. It is like following the best practices. It is not copy paste. It is following the best practices. In our university, we have a very transparent evaluation system. Now, what is the transparent evaluation system? Whether it is our internal mid examination or whether it is our end sem examination, everything, those are all evaluated online. I mean, soft copies that come to us, we evaluate. Before we freeze the marks, we open entire evaluation to each and every student. Unlike few other universities where unless the student pays some fees, he cannot see his evaluated script. We don't follow that. We keep everything open. All our papers will be open to entire student. Each will have, of course, his login. He can only he sees his own or her own, but doesn't matter whether he has paid the money or not for evaluation, re-evaluation purposes. He or she can see entire his script, and if he or she has some grievances, there is a point wise, there is question wise, beat wise, the scope will be there. They can write their comment that yes, I have done this, why I was awarded less, or I have explained this how I am wrong. And Again, we have to evaluate. You can just imagine, when I deal with the two theory subject, nearly I deal with 150 students. In a class we have 75 students, so 150 scripts I check first time for end sem examination, and then I keep it open to our student, and we give us a window like 7 days, and almost 80% of the student, they always give their feedback, because everybody wants to have some scores, some marks. We know that CGPA and grade really matters the most for them. So even though they do not have any justification, they always write, sir, please award 1 mark more, so why this is less. And mostly they compare each other, because they sit down nearby, and one fellow opens his script, this fellow opens his script, and they compare. And as a teacher, everybody must have evaluated. When we evaluate as a teacher, we cannot ensure that all 75 scripts I can evaluate in a equal parameter. There will be definitely little bit, because it all depends in which mood you are. It all depends in which day you are seeing, which time you are seeing. Sometime you give 3 marks, somewhere you might give 2.5 marks or 3.25 marks. So there is a possibility of some kind of differences when you evaluate, and that really gives a scope to the student. They question the transparency, and they ask the questions. So this way we have made our university autonomy open to our student, and we give them a scope. You can defend yourself, you can ask questions about the script evaluation, and we are there again to come back to you with our own thoughts. And if there is a justified argument or justified complaint, we award the mark. If there is not justified, we cannot simply say, yes, I have checked, and we are whatever I have given marks is whatever I have evaluated is perfectly all right. So that way we would do. So when I say the autonomy, I just wanted to give you this as an example. Autonomy is not always about framing your own curriculum and syllabus. Autonomy is also about this transparency. How much of transparent you are, what level of transparency you are setting up in your university pattern. Then only probably you will be industry ready, and your candidate will be ready for the market, and then people will buy the candidate. So let me go ahead. We know what is the meaning of the curriculum. Is the plan of educational experience offered to a learner. There are number of bookish definitions, but I like this definition: is a plan of educational experiences offered to a learner under the guidance of an educational institution. So it is not only courses of studies, it is not only syllabus, it is not only outcome based education, it is entire educational experiences. We call it curriculum. It's a Latin word. I think running chariot, it is a Latin word. From that Latin word it has come. It is the entire experiences we want to experience through the curriculum design. Now, these are the 6 steps in the curriculum design, which I really liked when I went through these steps. The first step is you have to identify the principles and the purposes. Second is entitlement and enrichment, breadth and balance, teaching narrative, resources, review and evaluate. The entire experience is this. See, if you look at the curriculum design, only if you look at the courses of syllabus, it is only step 3, the content. If you look at it, is only the content. It is not anything else. It is only the content. But rest of the 5 are nothing but your educational experiences, what really you experience through this curriculum design. Friends, the curriculum design, there are a number of models. Now, I have gone through so many models when I was asked to deliver a talk, and this is not my area. I had to go through a lot of literature, and I could find there is 2 beautiful model existing. One model is called product based, other one is called process based. So product based is something like you give importance to the grade or the final product. The process is your entire experiences with the child or with the learner in that 4 years of the studies. I found process based really can create the things. What do you like to give? You like to give them knowledge and the skill. So I'm sure the industry speaker must have spoken a lot of things about the skill development. Often I get really confused. What is the difference between knowledge and the skill? Are we delivering knowledge to our student in the college or university, or we are delivering the skill? I heard one beautiful talk from somebody, and he was explaining the difference between the knowledge and the skill. So what is knowledge? Knowledge is about knowing how a car is working, how the automobile, the machineries, the carburetor is working. That is called knowledge. But skill is able to park your car in a very clumsy marketplace. That is called skill. Sometimes even you know how the car is functioning, how the automobile is functioning, what is the function of the clutch, what is the function of the gear, accelerator or machinery, all that. But when it is a busy road, you cannot really back, you cannot really park, you cannot really take the side, and that is the skill. So we need to blend these two to our student in our curriculum design. When you are talking about breadth and balance, the step 3, developing the content, then we need to develop, we need to definitely club this too. I'm sure many of my electrical engineer friends here, they know how the wiring are being done, how the AC motor is working or DC motor is working, and many things about the power system. But if there is some short circuit in their house, I'm sure they must be looking for a guy who is only matriculate or ITI to come and fix the problem. So that is the skill. The knowledge is confined to a book. The skill is confined to the practice. So when you convert this knowledge to the practice, you become the skilled entrepreneur, you become the skilled engineer. So our requirement is to convert our student to the skilled engineer. And if you want to make them skilled engineer, then blend the both knowledge as well as skill in our curriculum. So these are the 6 steps we can follow. Now, what is the component of the curriculum? You know, the first is definitely the learning objective. All of we know that we are following the NBA outcome based, so we know that. Then of course, syllabus to be designed. So first of all, we must set the learning objective of a BTech, let's say computer science engineering courses. So we must have the learning objective, LO1, LO2, LO3, LO4, all that. And then I'm sorry, the power is caught here, so I'll be looking little dark. Doesn't matter, I'm originally dark looking, so it further adds more dark to my body. So anyway, that's a part of humor. Now next part, next is selection of the organization of the content, the syllabus. Then the most important part is pattern of teaching learning, including time schedule. Friends, whenever we design any curriculum, mostly we focus on the content, the second point, syllabus. We never focus on pattern of teaching and learning. We always sideline this. But I must tell you the 2 and 3 are clubbed together. Because if your syllabus will have some project oriented syllabus, then your teaching learning will change. If the syllabus will have some experimental type of syllabus, then your teaching learning will change. If the syllabus will have some analytical bent of syllabus, then your teaching learning will change. So that's the more important point. The second and third point we must see, when you design a syllabus, you also side by side think about what should be the pattern of teaching and learning for a particular syllabus. Not all syllabus will have the same type of pattern and teaching. For example, in my, let's say, third semester, I have 5 courses. All 5 courses may not have the same type of teaching and learning. Some may be project oriented. I mean, a boy has to sit down, do some experiment, then only learn. Some may be simulation oriented. Some may be we have to go outside of the campus and gather data and then do the learning. Some may be totally algorithmic oriented. Some syllabus may be mathematical oriented. So based on the syllabus and the teaching learning, we can club these two. And then finally, the program assessment and learning resources. Program assessment we have to do time to time, and learning resources also we have to acquire the quality learning resources. Now, 2 type of curriculums are there. Quickly, I'll brush through. One is called discipline-based curriculum. Discipline-based, that is subject-centered. Number of independent subjects, the learning is fragmented, memorizing, always memorizing, cognitive type of thing, repetition, and there is no interest and relevance. So this is called discipline based. Nowadays, discipline based is not sought after. What is more useful nowadays is competency based curriculum design. That is called activity based learning. The focus is on the task that a successful graduate need to do later as a competent professionals. So we need to integrate, as I said, knowledge and the skill along with attitude for doing a professional task. That's very, very important now. You can't limit yourself only to the knowledge. You cannot think about as a discipline only. When I talk about the discipline, it is product model. You are developing a product. Doesn't matter what is the process, the product is important. But the process model is your competency based curriculum. In this competency based curriculum, from the day one, from the day the student comes to your campus, you start working on him or her, and that working is integrating the knowledge, the skill, the communication, the attitudinal changes, the value based education, the societal contribution, all that we have to inculcate in the mind of the child. And that means I need to definitely design or devise some kind of curriculum which gives a scope to that, and that is called competency based curriculum or activity based learning. So this is the most important thing we must focus when we are designing our curriculum. Now, core curriculum with electives. Common, some curriculum must be common to all students. 2/3 of the time to be allotted for core, and then we can go for the competence. It's like drawing the foundation and then verticals. We should have some common. We know we are doing it as per the ICT norm, as per the NBA norm, that 30 to 40 credit will be from science, from 60 to 80 credit will be professional core, then elective will be 30 credits, open elective will be some credit, right? All that we are doing it, we are used to it, and that's process we have to follow. So in this, core curriculum must attend, some must attend and must pass. Some must attend and may pass, and may attend and may pass. So like that, we have to design or devise our curriculum, or mean to say your courses of studies of syllabus into three parts. The red part is the core part. We call it the kernel part. Kernel is very important, the core. 80% is the student must learn and must pass after the evaluation. Then we have soft core. I know must attend. If they do not pass, it doesn't matter. May pass, must attend. Right? Then we can go for the elective courses. In the soft core, we can have non-credit courses. Like there will be no examination for that, but they must not, like environmental, like professional ethics, like NSC, NCC, like value-based kind of things, like yoga. They must know this. These are the soft things we must inculcate, because we are not only designing one engineer, we are really giving a society a human being, and we need to also focus on that. They must attend this. Even if they are not able to pass, that doesn't matter, but they must attend, they must listen, they must acquire the knowledge. That's very important point for that. Some model, as I said, are there. Now today we are all talking about SPICE model. In this SPICE model, right side you can see it is a student centered and problem based, integrated, community based. These are all fundamentals. These are all already available literature. Everybody knows it. A lot of research have been done, and I have just taken from the internet to showcase that. Now let me show you where we are now. If you look at the student-centric and the teacher-centric based, where we are now. Now, this is actually the SPICE, the left hand, and here is the other type of things. And if you see where we are, most of the time we are teacher-centric. I know, like what I'm doing now, I don't know what my listeners, they want to listen from me. I'm not sure. I don't know. Now I have been talking for last 30 minutes without bothering whether they really like it or not, whether it is benefiting them or not. And this is called a seller's market. I don't like it. That's why this virtual platform is a dangerous platform. It will kill all the teaching skills unless and otherwise there is a two-way communications. So I must see whether my student is liking or not. Then I can change whether my students today ready to listen to me or not. So student centric I have to. So we are here. And problem based to the passive accusation, we are towards the passive, not to the problem. and we are towards the discipline based. And yes, some of our syllabuses are to the community. And if you look at the elective and the standardized, we are almost standardized. No, we are following. When I remember, when I am part of any curriculum design or syllabus design, what we do, we go to the IIT Kanpur, we go to the JNTU Hyderabad, we go to the JNTU Kakinada or VIT or some other MIT and download their syllabuses, and then see, pick and choose couple of things here and there and put it and say, yes, this is called your particularly kind of a passive acquisition. We don't think about the problem. I don't think about my region. I don't think about my society. I don't think about my setup, right? And then I design and then I throw to the student, and student find a lot of difficulties. So let us not do that. Since we are having a new university being set up, we can go beyond this. We can go beyond this, and we can try to blend our syllabus, and we need not take the same kind of studies courses. We can even redesign with the support of the industry partner. And then in our KIT university, let me put forward here what we practice in the KIT university. In the KIT university, some of our courses are totally taken care by industries. They design the course, they frame the syllabus, they take the classes, they come to the campus and they take the classes, they set the question paper, they evaluate, and they give us the grade. We do not interfere in that. The entire, like, one course is cloud computing, other one is robotic automations. Like that, some courses we have taken, and those courses are entirely designed by industry, and we have given them the credit. So we can think of something related to this in our new curriculum design by the new universities. Now, professional needs are most important. Communication skill, management skill, socio-political and legal issues and ethical issues, all this must be part of our curriculum design. At least some credit must be given to this. Some courses on the management skills, how to manage organization, how to manage the money, the communication, all that have to be included in our courses. So deterministic of the curriculum, we have to definitely see the social and industrial advances, educational advantage, and we have to go through the MHRD guideline, and we have to see also the employability and national employment generation policy. All these we have to take into account when we are designing the curriculum. I cannot design a curriculum alone as a standalone, because I am designing the curriculum for the society, for the industry. So I am guided by certain principles of the government of India, UGC, AICT, MHRD. I can't go beyond that. Similarly, if I'm looking for the international platform, I have to think about the ABET, I have to think about the IT, I have to think about the IEEE, and I have to also take their guidelines so that my student are competing with the student across the globe. That also very important to go through. So these are all the educational things we can share. I'm just keeping this. Now, this is a model I have downloaded. Let me not talk about the model. I have already explained it. Now, bringing innovation in the curriculum. Now, what type of innovation we can bring to our curriculum? Mostly the innovation to our curriculum. Yeah, right. It should be need for national, local, global. That's very important. I have to look at the local also. I can't really always design my curriculum for the global need. I have to see what type of industries are coming up near to my campus. And also I have to see the institutional. What is the goal, mission, or vision of the institution? Is it matching with this or not? So unless I do such analysis, I really cannot bridge that gap. So to bridging this gap, I have to go through all these things. Now, how do I evaluate? Then finally, it comes to the evaluation. When it comes to the evaluation, every time we think about evaluation of our curriculum is based on the marks. How many students passed, what is the percentage, how many are above E grade or O grade. So that, yes, is one part. But we also have to look at holistically the evaluation of the curriculum from the other aspect. Like, where are our students? Which demographic of population we are getting? Are they from the rural background? Are they from the urban background? Are they all city-based, village-based? What is their vernacular medium? I have to also see that when I'm evaluating. And what are they? What is their fundamental societal setup? How do they perform, not only in the examination, in all their life? Social accountability, these also I have to look at. And along with that, a curriculum can be evaluated based on the job market, whether my curriculum is able to create job, can bring job, employability ratio, industrial corporate demand and supply, and the scope of R&D. Since innovation, invention is the most important part for our industry, for our educational system. So we also need to see whether there is some kind of R&D aspect in our curriculum design or not. So this is what I thought I'll share with you. And then how do you do it? You can do it, think, pair, and share is the most important thing we have. When you design, you have to think, pair, and share. So to think, pair, and share, we need to involve all stakeholders, participants. Unless you involve everybody, your student, your alumni, and all of the stakeholder to be involved, industry partner and your board of governors, management body, everybody to be involved, and there may be a different model, jigsaw model and other model to do. Then one and one they can think, then they can pair their ideas, and one can come and share on the platform, then other can discuss. This vigorous workshop to be done before really a good curriculum design comes up to the to our fold. So this is a cyclic process. So it is not one time, it has to be done in a regular interval, maybe every 6 months or maybe every 1 year. Our board of studies should sit down and think and then share the ideas with industry partner, with their committee members, and then evolve new things. So these are all steps which I have mentioned. I'll be sharing the PPT if necessary, though these are all downloaded stuffs, and they can do some exercise on this. So this is the jigsaw method. I liked it, the method, how to really do it, and who will teach, when it will be taught, how long it will be taught, what are the course material, is it available or not, what are the teaching learning aids necessary. All this we have to thought of. Many a times I have seen this problem arising. I'm telling you from my university point of view again. Recently, for our PG courses, MTech courses, before I joined, these people, they made one syllabus, and interestingly, I mean, unfortunately, we do not have teachers to teach. We don't have a single textbook on that. Such kind of catastrophe should not happen. When we are designing something, we should keep it in mind who is going to teach. If the teacher is not available, then we must recruit. When it will be taught, in the first semester, in the last year, in the middle, and for what period it will be taught, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 hour, 40 hour, that period also, whether courses material are available or not, references are there or not, can I have teaching learning aids at my disposal. All this should be a thought out plan. I just cannot throw something to the teachers. And teachers are not god or creator that they today you give a subject and tomorrow they come and deliver in the class. Highly impossible. After 30 years of teaching, when I go to the class, I read twice, and sometime I also kneel down. I also cannot understand, because the industry trend is changing, the technology is changing, the expectation is changing. So we need to also have the support system from the industry. Industry should come ahead and support, other academia should come ahead and support, and university can tie up with a number of universities abroad or institution in the country, so that this can be developed. Only when the curriculum is developed keeping in mind all this aspect, I'm sure a teacher can be trained, and then the teacher can go and deliver and can definitely do best for the society, for the industry, and for every one of us, for the teacher learner. This is what my submission, with whatever the little literature study I could do, because as I said, this is not my domain of expertise. I have just borrowed something. I am thankful to Dr. V.S.K. Reddy for giving me a chance to learn something about the principles of curriculum design. Now I understand the mistake I was doing when I'm designing the curriculum. Now I understand the requirement, the need really when we design the curriculum. So this is what I wanted to submit to entire audience. So thanks for their patient listening. Hopefully they are there and listening to me. I don't know. I can't see. If any questions are there, I can take up. But I'm not the master of this. I'm a learner on this particular technology. Had it been my own domain of technology, probably I could have given much more. But this is just, I'm a part of, but I'm not having expertise in this. Anyway, thanks to Sanjeev Reddy sir, thanks to Mallikarjun Garu, and thanks to Murli Krishna Garu, Naveen, and Dr. BSK Reddy, and thanks to the Chief Patton, the founder chairman, Malareddy ji, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you, to talk to many people in the virtual platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I request participants to have questions. Sir is available. You can ask questions.
I think Dr. VSK Reddy is available. No, he is not there.
Yes, sir.
Sanjeev Reddy sir.
Sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. Very much audible. Yes.
Yes, sir. Very informative lecture you are given on this today's topic, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And what are the actually the drastic changes are required for essential, particularly on this today's situation related to this COVID-19, sir?
Related to COVID-19 and education, right?
Yes, particularly on this the higher education.
Okay, so good questions are asked. This I would like to quote from our AICT chairman, Dr. Sahasra Budhe. Recently, I was reading one article he has articulated, and he has pointed out that 40% of the courses, whatever the syllabus you are designing, 40% of the courses should be like online or self-learning courses. So this is the need now, because this pandemic has taught us that we have to deliver entire course online. So keeping in mind this kind of adversity might happen, and the need of the hour, particularly the technological advancements and all, then we must create some courseware which can be taught effectively, efficiently through Zoom platform or through this Google Meet platform or WebEx or any kind of medium. 40%, I mean, you can understand 40% of the entire credit should go towards it. This is what Dr. Sahasra Budhe said. I liked it because if you remember, sir, AICT has already taken this initiation called Swayam. Through Swayam, they used to deliver a lot of courses. So I think aptly said, we need to think about 30% of the courses to be designed in that manner. Sir?
Yes, sir. Now you can talk. Yes.
Yeah. I said 40% of the courses should be designed in such a way that can be offered online through different platform, digital virtual platform to the students, or student can learn on their own pace as a self-learning technique. That's the need. Yeah, I'm done.
There is a question from Kailash, sir.
Audible, sir?
Please come again.
Sir, good evening. I am Professor Kailash Rao, sir, from Malad College of Engineering and Technology.
Sir, good evening, sir. Good evening. Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, actually, this COVID-19 situation, that almost it has taught a lesson to every system.
Yes,
where
sir,
actually
yes.
Now it is mandatory for every system to keep a standby henceforth. Why? Because the system may get failed due to any kind of
situation. We are entirely the process. We are switch over from offline to online.
Yes, sir.
And this is very, very essential because an industry point of view. And today about the 7 eminent personalities, 4 from the academics, and 3 from the industry. They are given very valuable sessions, lectures. You see the technology, how we are interacted with the 7 personalities at a time in a single day. You see, one person is from US, other person is from UK. There is one person from Bombay, Bhubaneswar, Delhi. The participants are coming from Malaysia and all. These are all actually possible with the technology to link these, share their views. You see, the very valuable sessions today we are able to experience with the present technology. And we supposed to actually addict the online technologies. And for us, actually, the universities, present universities, they have to go for the change in the design of the curriculum, particularly to meet the industry 4.0. We thank all these eminent personalities today. We are given the valuable lectures by namely Dr. D.N. Reddy Garu, Vice Chancellor, former Vice Chancellor, JNTU, Hyderabad. Sri Dr. V.S.K. Reddy Garu, Principal, MRSET. Dr. S.S. Manta Garu, former Chairman, AICT. And Sri Dr. Amiya Bug, Vice Chancellor, Lincoln University College. And Sri Murali Padmanabhan Garu is from Varchusa. And Sri Mani Madhukar Garu from IBM. And lastly, the most efficient lecture will be given by Dr. Suresh Chandra Satpathy. And in fact, we have been noted all these sessions, valuable lectures. And in future also, we want to conduct some more webinar on this, particularly on the university curriculum design. We also thank all the participants, particularly on this entire day session. They have been listening very patiently and giving this valuable feedback and interacting with these sessions, particularly with the resource person. Once again, we are thanking you very much for all the participants, for all these the eminent personalities. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, all participants, especially MRSET participants, you can try with the feedback link which I have sent at 4:49, which is the bigger one, not the link which is given to outside participants, because it will be a problem for outside participants if we use at the higher number. I request all the MRSET faculty, HODs and placement officers and all the people use the link which was sent in 4 lines, the bigger one, not the short one. Short one is meant for outside participants only. I hope I'm clear. You please copy so that we will leave the meeting right now. Can I leave the meeting? I mean, make the meeting like end, because there are so many people, like around about 70 people are waiting for that. If you copy the link, we will just close the session. Chat box. You please check the link in chat box. Okay, thank you all very much. We'll be closing the session for the day. It is almost very close to 5 o'clock. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.